spring practice since I've been playing college football, which goes all the way back in the mid-'70s. You know, I've always tried to take this attitude into whether I was a position coach or a coordinator or a head coach. It's about getting better. Our objectives, really, when you look at our objectives as a spring, throughout spring practice here, our offensive line, while we return 3 guys that have a lot of playing experience, including Stipik, that would be the 3rd guy. It will be a young offensive line, and we need to make strides there this spring, so that'll be very important to us. Our defensive line, when you look at us as a defensive line, I think we have players back, capable players, but I also do think that we need to improve our defensive pass rush and be able, when I say that, we need to be able to transition from run to pass as the play develops, and that will be something we continue to work on. We want to get back to running the football more consistently. I think that's, without question, is what we want to do. We have our 2 tailbacks back, and in terms of Capers and Edwin Baker, so that'll be exciting for those guys to continue moving in that direction. We want to play better in the red zone defensively, and then you know, come up with more turnovers. And then our young players, again, I think we have to see where they go and start to develop those young players. Our strengths, as I see our football team right now, obviously Greg Jones coming back is a big exclamation mark. When he made that decision to come back, you know, he set our defense, really, the way I look at it. You know, you've got your Mike linebacker back. You've got a guy who's 2nd leading tackler in the country, a guy who's an All-American player, a guy who's trying to do it the right way in every respect. It's a great example for a lot of our players in terms of how to respond when you do have success. On our defensive side of the ball, I think linebackers becomes a strength for us. You know, when you look at us entirely on the defensive side, we have 13 players coming back who has substantial playing time, whether they've started or not. You know, 4 guys, I think, in the secondary returning. You have 4 linebackers actually with starting experience, and you have, you know, with Pickleman and Worthy and Hoover coming back on the defensive front, and some younger players up there as well. On the offensive side of the ball, you have a quarterback returning who has actually 2 of them who have substantial playing time. Obviously, Cousins played the majority of time, and I think that offensively, when you look at us as a team, you know, for a football team that's generally thought of as to be a team that runs the football a lot, we led the conference in passing, threw for over 3,000 yards, I believe 28 touchdowns, as I remember. A lot of that is due to our quarterback situation. So we return our quarterback, and we return an outstanding group of quarterbacks with Cousins, Nickel, which I'll talk about here in a little bit. Maxwell will get an opportunity to play a lot this spring, and then Joe Boyster, a brand new freshman coming in. So I think we have 4 quality quarterbacks, and probably most importantly, we have a quarterback back in Cousins that excelled at a high achievement level. So I mean, anytime you bring back a quarterback that's seasoned, good things are bound to follow, I think. Our wide receiver and our tight end position comes back with a lot of depth. We'll move Keith there and sort of be a slash-type player where he'll play at wide receiver probably 70 to 80% of the time, but also take reps at quarterback too, because I do think that there's still a place for him at that position. He's an exciting player, and he, again, brings experience at that position, game experience, having played through the Michigan game and started the Illinois game experience, and he's had great success as well. Our offensive line needs to be rebuilt, but our punter returns and snapper returns, I think you, again, have to look at our snapper situation and say, you know, very consistent, you know, guy coming back for his 4th year. Our kicker, obviously we lose Swenson, huge loss for us. And so Dan Conroy, along with Kevin Muma, will return to compete at that position, and we expect to get a lot of reps at that, but that'll be a very, very important position for us. As far as any other strengths, I believe we have an outstanding freshman class this past year's freshmen that are currently on our football team. A lot of our guys, had you given them the opportunity to take a red shirt off of them, would have played in the bowl game by just sheer ability. Our new freshmen obviously will always have an opportunity to play. On the average, we've had 6 new guys play every year we've been here. And I would say that's basically been the norm even when I was at Cincinnati. We've been able to have at least 6 young players play, and I expect that to continue.